Hello, I'm Jason Brock, and this is an exciting white background. White shirt, white background, clear glasses. There's a void of color, so here's some color. Ooh, water bottle. Anyway, I just wanted to make a video by request of my Patreon fans, my Brock stars on Patreon. They voted on a video for me to do this month, and it's about my acting, entertainment, singing career in Japan so far. So I'm just going to tell you about it and how I got into it and how it's been going and my thoughts on it now. I've lived in Japan now for almost 4 years. So, in 4 years, what has happened with my entertainment career in Japan? How did I get into it? Let me start with that. So, when I first moved to Japan, I had already been doing film and TV and singing, mostly singing, in the United States. And I was like, I want to make it big in Japan. So I decided I would. Well, I came here to study, first of all, and I did. I got my bachelor's degree here in Japan. And yeah, I was a late bloomer because can you see my hair is not, my hair's kind of gray. I'm not young. Um, so anyway, I did that, but at the same time, I'm like, well, I want to try my chance in Japanese entertainment. You know, sometimes foreigners get famous here and have a great career. Very, very rarely, but yes, sometimes. So I signed up with a talent agency. I started with one talent agency because I didn't know you could do multiple talent agencies, which I learned later. But yeah, I signed up with them. I told them that I'd been on TV, on the X Factor in America, and I'd done some movies and a lot of music, especially live music, but also recordings and stuff. So they were very interested, and they signed me, and I started getting a job or two here and there, and I realized that you get a lot of emails usually, sometimes texts, sometimes calls, but usually emails with job opportunities. And then they submit you to that job if you're available on the dates that the job takes place and the auditions. Um, what I learned pretty quickly is that most of those jobs, even if you're available, you don't get. You don't even get an audition because they're looking at photos, height, weight, age, face, personality. Are you a fit for this role? Or like whether it be, this is usually for acting, uh, or even for being an extra. So a lot of those jobs you don't even get through the first stage, which is just you respond to an email, yes, I'm available, and then they respond, sorry, you weren't selected for the audition. But sometimes you get the audition. And then, as you know, with auditions, just like in America, sometimes you get it, but usually you don't. I mean, unless you're different than me, which you might be. Maybe you get a lot more jobs than I do. And because maybe you are perfect looking for every role. I don't know. But not me, and not most people I know. So, yeah, that's kind of how the process works. And then when you do get a job, you, it's great. You get a job. But I am looking at someone out in the hallway. Um, about me, though. So, I'm going to tell you about some of the jobs I've gotten. Um, so, oh, also, I started working with other agencies because I found out that you can work with more than one agency at once if you don't have an exclusivity clause in your contract. So, I did have an exclusivity clause when I first started with that one agency. But then I asked them, can I work with other agencies? Because I was talking to other talents. They call them talents here, like actors and singers. They're often called talents. Other talent or talents were working with other agencies, and I learned I could sign with other agencies too. So now I'm working with many agencies, not only for acting, but also for singing. So I have a broad net. And even with that broad net, I still don't get that many jobs. But I just want you to know what it's like, okay? So, uh, back when I first moved here, my first job as an actor in Japan was in a music video for a band called Pedro, a Japanese girl band. There is one male member, but it's a girl lead singer. She's from another famous girl band, which I can't remember the name of right now. But anyway, this band's called Pedro. And the pay was okay. We're talking about, I don't want to say exactly how much, but not that much money, unfortunately. However, I was just an extra, really. I was just standing in the sidelines cheering. It turned out they wanted fat people like me in the audience. And I think the band, I don't know what they were talking about in the song. It's called Night Night, I think. Uh, and it's in a pink room if you want to see the video. I'm in there cheering and screaming. We were in this tiny little room for hours, like sweating our asses off, and there's like people all around you and just retake after retake. But it was fun. It was my first time to be in something in Japan, and I was excited. I felt like I had made it because I was with a famous band in Japan, in Tokyo. Like, that was pretty cool. So that was done, and that was in June of 2019. So this is a few years ago. Uh, my next job was August, 2 months later, and this was just doing a video for my agency. They did like an apartment tour of my apartment at the time. I was living in a share house when I first moved here. And then I don't even think that made it onto the channel. If it did, I never saw it. Maybe it's on there. Anyway, I don't know. But then a month later, I got a job that I was really happy about. And this was on NHK, which is a famous channel in Japan. It's kind of like the PBS of America, NHK. So I did a show called Songs of Tokyo, which is right up my alley. I'm a singer. And on this show, you would watch a Japanese band or group of bands or singers perform, and then you talk to them after the show and give your opinion, whether you liked it or not. Try to get some insight. How would you do in America? I think you do great. Whatever. I believe it was this one. Yeah, this one. September 2019, where I met a band called News. They're very, very famous boy band here. The type of boy band is called Johnny's. Johnny's is like a management group of many boy bands. They're called Johnny's. Anyway, this is a Johnny's band called News. And I got to talk with one of the members and like flirt with him on camera. And it went viral on Twitter. And oh my God, I thought, I'm going to be famous. No, wrong. But still a great experience. I got to feel seen. And the money was just so as usual. It's rare that you're making very much money on these, just FYI. I think if you're famous gaikokujin, which is a foreign actor, then I think you can make a lot of money. But I'm not, so, whatever. So after that, it got a little bit busy for me, and I thought things were going to go really well. Because I did 2 NHK shows the following month. One was watching comedy and reacting to it. It was actually really funny. It's like the SNL of Japan. It was called Shoku no what's it called? I can't remember the name, but it's like SNL. It's like a sketch comedy show. And it was hilarious, and I got to meet one of the writers. I didn't actually meet the actors. And the same month, I did something where I was eating chicken live. They wanted video of a fat person eating fried chicken. Not surprising. That's a kind of popular role in Japan. So that the following month, November, I had like three shows. I did Songs of Tokyo again, where I got to interact with artists, more famous artists. That was amazing. Um, I was just an extra on a Tokyo drama called Grand Maison, which is about cooking. And I also did something called Tokyo Miracle, which was like exploring the ancient arts of Tokyo. Like this one was wood making. You like carve boxes and then they like sew material in or glue material in. Very beautiful. But anyway, so I was like, yeah. And then what were my next gigs in December? Santa Claus in a mall. That's my only jobs in that December of 2019. When I was doing Santa in the mall, the pay was actually better than the TV work. I don't know why. But I didn't feel very satisfied with that kind of work because I'm like, hey, I want to be famous. you know, I want to be big in Japan. And so being Santa, it was fine. Hey, you can't turn down that money, but unfortunately, yeah, I was looking for a stardom. So the next thing I did was in January of 2020, and this one felt really good. It was a Rosetta Stone commercial for Japan, and the pay was actually pretty good. And I was an otaku, like basically a geek, an anime loving geek from America. And I had a T-shirt that said "Kanji e kanji" means uh, kanji feels good. E kanji is like good feeling. Kanji ga e kanji. And I had like a bandana on. You can see my IMDb for all these credits, by the way. IMDb. If you want to see everything I did in the details, it's all there. Uh, Jason Brock. Yeah. Anyway, but Rosetta Stone, it was on YouTube, but I got some negative feedback from other gaikokujin, other foreigners. They thought it was so stereotypical. This is so annoying, so offensive. I'm like, it's acting, okay? It wasn't me. It was the role I was cast in. But anyway, so things start to slow down. And by the way, I'm still studying this whole time, getting my bachelor's degree. And at this time, I also switched to language school after I get my bachelor's. I think this was end of 2020. I switched to language school to study Japanese for a year and a half. And that's what I'm doing in the background, I'm learning. But in March 2020, I got a nice job with a very famous singer named Seiko Matsuda, and she is a very like a legend of Japanese music. So I got to be in her music video. I'm just in the background swaying. That was my job. There were three guys, and we had mustaches and tuxedos on, and we're just swaying, and she's singing. It's a really lovely song and a lovely video, and she was very nice, and she gave me a gift. She gave all three of us a gift. It was her birthday, too, and we sang happy birthday to her, and she gave us these really nice little chocolates after the video was done shooting. It was nice. It was nice. Everyone was excited to be around a legend. And so, yeah, that was that. But then listen to this. March, April, May, June, July. I did not work again until July, from March to July. So thank God I wasn't counting on this as my living. But that month in July, I got some cool work. I did another NHK show, an educational show, where I talked about peanut butter, peanut butter and barbecue. My God. And we were like two foreigners talking about what kind of barbecue we prefer, what kind of peanut butter, and we were kind of fighting about it. And that's funny. I also got to be in Naked Director. You know, that's a pretty famous show on Netflix. I was just an extra, but at least I was there. Hey. So that was cool. I just was happy to be associated with a famous title, but I didn't meet that main character guy, so whatever. Um, then I got some more jobs in September. I worked on Unbelievable, which is actually what do you call it? A documentary, sort of. What is it? A reenactment documentary. So I actually got to be in a full hour show, and I was in a fat suit the whole time. I was already fat. They wanted me fatter. So me and this other girl were both in fat suits and we're eating all the time. And this took like holy crap so long to shoot. And the pay was actually pretty good. Uh, but it was an hour special, so it took a while to shoot it. And oh my god, my coworker, the director was like really irritable and he yelled at us a lot. And my co star was like crying at the end, and we nearly couldn't go on. And then he yelled at me because I asked if I could eat part of a muffin, and he's like, "That's part of the set." Bah, 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 bah. He just went off on me. He could have just said no. Am I right? No, he couldn't. No. He's very angry and he apologized after, but that was not fun. Anyway, the money was good and I got to do a full documentary. Like, that was great. It's called Unbelievable and it's hosted by a very famous Japanese actor. What's his name? Beat. Takahashi Beat? Yeah, I think so. The guy who was in the movie Taboo, which I did a review of one time. Anyway, same month. This is a good month. I was in Ride or Die, also on Netflix. I was just an extra. I got to meet one of the actors, but I don't know his name, but he was hot. And I was like, nice suit. And he's like, thanks. And that led nowhere. I also, I also got to be in a John Williams documentary. This was all on NHK, and it was I was the director of John Williams. I was John Williams's director in this documentary, and yeah, that was cool. So that was a good month. It was a busy month. Made a little money that month. October also got a couple jobs. This one didn't air. I had to travel like hours away to Nagoya, not Nagoya. Another city that starts with an N. Very beautiful, green hills, but anyway, it took a while to get there. We recorded the whole thing in a pressure chamber. I was sneezing, or not even sneezing. I was talking, and this is about Corona, trying to project saliva, right, in a pressure chamber. And it took a while to get it, but we did it. And then it never aired, but I still got paid, so. And I got to travel, so that's nice. Same month, I did Songs of Tokyo again, which is NHK. And all these Songs of Tokyo shows, that's been my regular thing. They've asked me back several times. And I really like that show because you get to meet so many singers and bands and then you're also on TV and I love to be on TV, so it's great for me. I hope they will have me back. Please. I haven't been on lately, so hopefully they'll call me. Then I had a couple months, that was October, right? It was slow. We're still in, what year are we in? October 2020. Yeah, but when December came around, I was like, I don't really want to do Santa jobs, so I didn't do Santa jobs that year. But I did do an NHK educational show. I was the cameraman, not the real cameraman. I was the on-camera cameraman for a show called Vocab Writer. And that was cool. Nice people, nice actors and staff. And I also did a Christmas concert. I think that was my first Christmas concert. It's my first or second. I've done Christmas concerts every year in Japan, so that's an independent endeavor. But I've still been singing here, even on my own, doing concerts, like cabarets at piano bars, usually in Roppongi, at my favorite piano bar, My Scotch in Roppongi. Check it out if you haven't been there. And try to catch me in a show if I am there singing. Um, then I did a commercial. This was really good for me in January of 2021. So that was a good way to bring in the new year because uh, the I had what do you call it? What's it called? Oh yeah, so it was like a exercise thing, and I had to lose weight, and I had to go through this whole training program in order to lose weight to be part of their promotional materials. And I'm not saying the name of the company right now because there are contracts involved. Anyway, that was one of the best paying things I ever did in Japan, and it was also one of the most grueling things I ever did. If you've watched me, you might remember when I got quite a bit thinner, thinner than I am now, and you could see it in my face and my body. I lost a lot of weight doing all the exercise and eating and working with a trainer. Whew, it was hard, but the money was definitely worth it. And it was nice to see myself get that thin. I can't believe I did that, but it was pretty much a very difficult experience to do that, to be that dedicated. Yeah. So anyway, I did that. But then it's crazy. I didn't get work for a long time. I'm looking at it here. When was my last? So from January 2021. This is around Corona too, so I think it has something to do with it. January 2021 to December, no, to January 2022. That's 1 year. I did not get any jobs. Only my own concerts and only my own part-time work, which is also singing to children in English. So that's a different side thing I'm doing. But other than that, no real talent jobs, no real acting or singing jobs. Can you believe that? So sad. Okay. Anyway, so 2022 came around, and we're getting closer to today. I did Songs of Tokyo again. I got to talk about J-pop and city pop. It's like a genre of Japanese pop from the 80s. It's maybe 90s, but it's like really retro Japanese pop, and people really like that. There's a big fan base out there. And so I did Songs of Tokyo again. Thank you, NHK, for that. March 2022, I did something really cool. I got to do this music video with one of my favorite singers in Japan. His name's Tsuyoshi Nagabuchi. I think I'm saying that right. Definitely Tsuyoshi. He has a voice like this, kind of like Bob Dylan voice, but a great songwriter, very emotional singer. So I really enjoyed working with him, and I did get to meet him and sing like right next to him. I was in the chorus behind him, and it was also a nice paying gig. So, and I got to travel. So that was cool. That was really cool. The video is online. A lot of these things you can find, but I might add little clips or pictures in this video. I don't know. Then I was in April of 2022. I did a feature film, and I was a talk show host. But this film, even though it's like a full-length film, I haven't seen it yet because apparently it's not finished, or it wasn't finished. It's doing film festivals first before it's doing anything else, so maybe it'll be famous. Who knows? But anyway, wait and see on that. What else did I do? Okay, we're getting to the end here of my Japanese acting and singing career, and I noticed something's missing because somewhere in here I didn't write it down. But I did a video game. I sang in a video game, and it was a Disney video game. And I got to sing for, what was it? It's like a, you know, those games where you like push things to the rhythm, like do 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 do. One of those games. Anyway, I got to do a song for that, so that was cool. And that was also nice pay, so thank you for that, for to that agency. Um, and I was recently, this is September 2022 now. I was recently in a, a documentary, another, like, what do you call it? What do you call it? The reenactment documentary about Elliot Higgins. I got to be Elliot Higgins because I guess I kind of look like him. Um, anyway, he was famous for something about Russia. Uh, then I was in Utakon, like this big singing music festival. Uh, yeah. So Utakon is like an all-day music festival on NHK, and they used a clip of me singing a song in Japanese. So that aired in September, and oh my gosh, we're getting close to the end. I hope this isn't boring. I'm just going through a timeline. Um, Almost done with listing my work because obviously it's not that much, right? Um, but I did a TV commercial in November, and I can't say the name of the company. And then in December, I was Santa, but this is different. I was Santa on live TV on online streaming thing called Abema. It's sort of like Netflix or Hulu in Japan. And that was so fun. That was like an hour long live show with these anime voice actors. They were funny. Hey, hey, ho. You might be able to find that online too. But anyway, that's basically my career so far in Japan because that was December 2022 and now it's February 2023. And have I had a job yet this year in acting or singing? No. So, what do I think about all this? I think if you really want to make money as an actor or singer in Japan, it's not a good idea to come here, but you can do it. Depends not on how talented you are. It depends on how, I would say, cute or handsome you are and your age, because you are more likely to get roles in modeling, for example, and acting if you are more the attractive type, and I am not. And I don't care if you think I'm attractive or you want to make me feel better by saying so. I'm not saying I'm terribly ugly. You know what I mean. If you're a hot, sexy person, you're probably going to get more roles. So if you're one of those people, you might do better than me. I am more like, how do you say, a character actor. I get jobs for people that look older and fatter and maybe funny. Also, I get jobs in singing and music or things related to music. But, you know, it's kind of limited. But there's still that chance. I could make it big. You know, if I could get the right role, it could be a recurring role, and then build a name, and then, you know, things could pick up from there. Kind of like acting in America. You know how many people are acting in LA, for example, and everyone wants to make it big, but they're doing extra roles, they're doing little roles here and there, but then on the side, they're doing a part time job or a full time job, like me. Um, Same here, same in Tokyo. Except I think in LA there's more work. I think. More work than Tokyo. But I don't know because I don't live in LA. And I haven't worked in LA for a while. Even though I did back when I was on TV, and even after that, I would go audition for stuff. And I even did a pilot out there once, and it didn't air. But you know, That's the life of an actor and the life of a singer and an entertainer. It's if you want to be famous and rich, it's gonna take a certain amount of luck and, of course, hard work. But I can say that I have done a lot to put myself in the position to get that opportunity. I'm signed with several agencies, like many agencies, and my feelers are out. I'm available, I'm visible. Some people find me. I've had people find me for jobs just from my website. They Googled me or they found a YouTube video. These weren't agencies I was signed with. These were agencies I had never heard of that contacted me directly. So you need to be visible, you need to be doing things to be visible, to be found by people who are looking for singers or actors in Tokyo. So, yeah, that's been my experience so far. Do I think it's worth it? Absolutely. Because it's been my dream. I wanted to be on TV and stuff in America. I was able to do that, and then when I came to Tokyo, I've been able to do that. Uh, am I famous? No, but that's okay. Maybe one day, or maybe never. It's okay. I had my X Factor days. I can say I was famous once, at least somewhat. That's good enough for me, but it would be nice if it happened again. Like maybe longer and maybe more money, honey. So, yeah, that's been my experience in Japan. If you have any questions about this whole thing, feel free to leave a comment in the a question in the comments below or comment. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching my pale white room with my white shirt. Terrible color choices here. Again, water bottle for color. Okay. Okay, that's it. Bye. Thank you.